since you've been working with so many people who have like really tough times with addiction and everything, can you give us maybe a little insight on like different ways we can look at people with addiction? Like, because I think our society looks at them in very just bad ways that doesn't help the problem.
That's a great question. I think the common misunderstanding. So if you, let's say that there's a drought in Ethiopia or something, and you see people who are suffering tremendously from this kind of external thing that's happening to them, we tend to have a lot of compassion for people like that. But when we look at people with addiction, people tend to think, oh, they are doing that to themselves, which is just, it's just not true. Like there's if you take the chain of cause and effect back into that person's life, oftentimes, as Gabor Mate has pointed out brilliantly, there is tremendous trauma in that person's past. So if, let's say that something horrible, something that we can't even talk about, it's so horrible, happens to a person when they're 3 years old, and they're suffering for that the rest of their childhood, then all of a sudden when they're 13 years old, they get a taste of alcohol for the first time, and that, for the first time since they were 3, it kind of calms their nervous system, allows them to feel a degree of peace, and they're like, oh my God, this is the answer to what happened to me when I was 3 years old. I feel so much better. And that's just the trap they get in. And then the next time, next time they're smoking a joint, next time they're snorting an oxy pill, and it's just a way to self-medicate. Gabor Mate's next book is called The Myth of Normal. Like, we were all born into a conversation on Earth here that was well underway. And that conversation is filled with really a lot of trauma and a lot of stuff that doesn't make being a human being very easy. And people that get caught up in addiction, they are just, doing their best to survive, doing their best to self-medicate and keep putting one foot in front of the other. It's a place where you need to have compassion for people. I know a lot of people who tell me, look, if I didn't have heroin, I would have killed myself a long time ago. Heroin's keeping me going. Cocaine's keeping me going. It's the one relief I've got so that I didn't jump off that bridge 10 years ago. So there's a lot of room for compassion when you look at it like that. These are individuals who are suffering and are just trying to make their suffering a little bit less.